Hi everyone, Lisa here from Forest City Stitching. Hope everyone had a great week. I am one day late filming as yesterday was a mad dash to finish stitching on all of my Mania projects. So yeah, I know that sounds a little crazy, but I did not keep up with Mania very well at all this year. And so yeah, I still wanted to put stitches in each of my Mania projects. So yeah, so that was what I was doing yesterday evening. Yeah, we had a great weekend. My son had baseball practice on Saturday. I don't think I spoke with you all after our game on Tuesday, right? Because it has been a week. My son did have a baseball game on Tuesday. Yes, all the days are running together here on me. On Tuesday, so that was his first game, and they lost 11-15, but that's okay. Yeah, 11U baseball is quite entertaining. So, but everyone did well. They learned a lot, and we learned that we need to focus on our pitching because we walked all 5 batters. So they have a mercy rule where you only allow 5 runs in per inning. So we were up to the other team batted first, and so when we walked all 5 of their players, we were a little worried, being that my husband and I have never been to, a child's baseball game before. But it turns out that the other team was just as good as our team. So yes, the 5-run rule was used a lot. But then, they kind of got the hang of it. So yeah, it was good. And my son is still enjoying baseball. We now have a game that has been rescheduled from the game I talked about last week that they couldn't find an ump, and there is some discussion about the state of the field. So that has been rescheduled to Thursday this week. So that will be a later night because it's at 6:30. So that'll go till 8:30, and it is outside of town, not like a half an hour outside of town, but still. It's gonna be past everyone's bedtime by the time we get home that night. Yeah, so we are having fun as a baseball family now. So that's all that matters. Yeah, so Saturday was practice. Sunday I went for a run. Sunday evening we went out to Port Stanley for dinner. So that was nice. And then, as I said, all weekend was kind of a mad dash to finish stitching on my Mania stuff. So here we are. So you're going to see lots of stuff because I have a lot of projects that I have put stitches in. Not a lot of stitches on all the projects, but stitches nonetheless. And, it was good to touch them all. Yeah, so let's get into this. I did get some more yarn, but I forgot to bring it up, so you're not going to see that. But it is a Blue Jays sock colorway from Ginger Snaps, which is a Canadian yarn dyer. I want to say they're out west. I thought they were in Sarnia, but I think I'm completely wrong on that. I think they're out west. I did get that, and I also got a bag as well. But maybe next week I will remember to grab that to show you. Okay. Flosstube friends, I finished my second lady and got that into the mail. So that is off to Darlene Dion. And yeah, so now I'm just awaiting my piece, which I believe is Sarah's piece. And I believe it's coming from Kathy, I think. So I will show you that when I receive it. But yeah, so far so good. I think everyone is pretty much on track. If their pieces haven't been put in the mail, I know that they will be put in shortly. So things are going well with that round robin. All right. Let's try to do this a little bit in order. Okay, so I do have another new start because why not? I started a piece to stitch at my son's baseball game. Sorry, just had to make a note before I forgot something. Yeah, so it's this piece here by Stitching with the Housewives. They have a few in kind of this series. So I bought all of them because why not? But it is going to be a very quick stitch. I am changing the color slightly. This is where we are so far. Now on the pattern, it's white and red, but I'm changing it to white and blue because the banner, I'm gonna do red. So a lighter red and a deeper red, and as well as red in here. Because my son's team is the Red Sox. Our league does Major League names. Clearly all the kids wanted to be on the Blue Jays, but they all can't. They did have the foresight to take the Dodgers out of the running for team names, so that was probably best. Yeah, so my son plays on the Red Sox, so we'll make the banner red. Let's bring out Blueberry J next. Yes. So I got some good work done on Blueberry J. We were having a bit of a winning streak, but then we just lost 2 games. So this is my Blue Jays piece. And yeah. It's hard for me to tell you what I worked on, but I think mainly down here is what I was focusing on. But that's looking pretty good. So I think why I struggled with Mania this year was because I had my Flosstube friends that I needed to finish up within a period of time, as well as I had my Blueberry J piece to keep caught up on as far as stitches for runs go. But with that being said, that piece could have got behind and it wouldn't have been a big deal, but oh well. And a lot of the time I would see what piece was going to be called for Mania, and I might not have been feeling it that day. I think I still want to do Mania next year again. It is obviously a year away. But I do like the idea of words today. I do like the idea of, you know, touching those pieces at least once per year to make sure that they get some work. And you're going to see there's a few pieces that are very close to a finish, which is good as well. Yeah, so I'm not giving up on Mania for future years. I just think that maybe this just wasn't my year to keep up with it and do well at it. Again, these are all self-made constraints that I have put onto myself. So at any point I could have stopped, and I did think about it, but I didn't. It was important to me to stitch on those pieces, and I did. So I did give up on Springo basically after day one. So I do have the ability to stop things if I feel these silly games aren't working for me. So, boy, apparently if I do a video after work, I just ramble. So, we're in for a treat tonight. Okay, back on track. Fairy Tale came out. This is from Shannon Christine. Now, this piece, I knew the fabric was going to be snug, but we've now determined how snug it's going to be, because it's only going to be like 8 to 10 stitches from the very top once we get all the stitches in the top. So that's how that's looking. And I just worked on some more of like the frames. All right, Olympic Gnomes. How this one's looking. See, this one's pretty close to a finish. Just have some up here and here, and just mushrooms over here. Maybe a gnome sleeping there, and a clothesline. Yeah, that's pretty close. Oh, and what I did on this one was I added this tree in. Okay, so all these next projects were stitched on in the last 2 days. This is Toonies by D's 20 Stitches. And so the little gosling was already done. Not a gosling. What is a baby loon called? Chick. But I started on the back of the loon. There. This is 28 count. And so I have to count over 2 threads. And I didn't have the best lighting, nor did I have my magnifiers on. So that was slow going. I don't know why I'm looking at my planner anymore, because these are all the last couple days. Doesn't really matter. This one here is Autumn Alphabet. by Willow Hill Samplings. A lot of these pieces too were started during the pandemic. That's okay. I'm not mad that any of these are still around by any means. It's just, yeah, May was just a different month for me, I think. So that is how Autumn Alphabet is looking. And I just worked on the border a bit here. I had another new starch that I didn't realize that I had slated, but clearly I needed it because it was on the calendar. My calendar wouldn't lie to me. So this is year celebrations, and I started the March. I had all intentions of cutting February off before showing this to you today, but here we are. So March is started. That is 200 stitches in that. Playing with Jacks, the Cricket Collection. That's how that one's looking. And I worked on that black pumpkin there. This is fabric from Fortnite fabric, so that is no longer available. This is on my with go for finish this year, but it hasn't been called yet. So Loads of Fun by Hands On Design. This one I didn't put very many stitches in. I finished the word fun and I put in that back stitching. So again, this one doesn't have very much more to do. And then when it's done, I will have all three complete. And then we'll have to figure out how to FFO all three. This is, I don't have a photo. This is a chart that's no longer available by Sapphire Mountain Handcraft, and it's a Zippity Doodah sign from the old Splash Mountain. And all I did was I added in that coral outline and then that red on that flower there. All right, yeah, that's what I did. But you saw this in the fall. It's not too long ago because it was part of my Great British Bake Off. See, some of these pieces get worked on other times as well. And then last but not least, but this poor piece hasn't got any work since I started it. You don't need to see the picture because everyone knows what this looks like, but it is Cherry Magpie. I did put this into Pattern Keeper just because Blueberry J is in Pattern Keeper, and that was working well. But yeah, this poor piece hasn't got any love since I started it. So it had about 340 stitches in it, And boy, you really can't see those stitches after I put something at the back. There you go. I know you can't see that terribly well with the sun shining through, but at least you can see the pink stitches. You can see it better in person, but that's okay. I'm happy with how it's turning out. But yeah, it's definitely not photographing well here on video. But that is, yeah, see, and then you can't see the pink at all. Here we go. A little bit better. So yeah, so I want to say less than 100 stitches were added to that. But that's okay. Yeah, so that is what I've been working on, particularly over the last couple of days. Yeah, June plans. I want to look at the Stitch and Seek for Whip Warriors. I could look at the magazine monthly challenge as well at their acrostic. I haven't really done any planning for June. Waiting on my Flosstube friends to arrive. I just watched Sheldon in Stitches and Jason X Stitch. They are starting a finish frenzy that goes from June until November. So that's an interesting concept that they're doing, where they're giving certain points. They have a calculation for each finish, and their goal is to get things finished. So I may take that into account, not necessarily focusing on finishes, but obviously I don't need any more new starts. So I kind of just need to kind of get my head back in the game and wrap myself, get my thoughts figured out, words, on, or get back on track, I should say, to just working my whips and getting, because right now I'm definitely in a deficit as far as the number of new starts I've had this year compared to the number of finishes. So I need to get back focused on that. Yeah. So thank you for listening today. I know that a lot of this video wasn't very coherent or any real flow to it, but I appreciate you taking the time to listen to me yammer on, and yeah, sometimes it helps to get my thoughts straight and get myself back on track with how I want my stitching to go. So have a great week, everyone, and we'll see you next week.